Welcome into the show. Texans training camp day one is in the books, and we've got plenty to talk about, from wide receivers to running backs to oh so much more. We've got it all here on the show today. Going to break down four big things that kind of stood out with those, kind of shoot off on a couple of other topics that pop up. Then we'll take your questions at the end. Super chats, of course, go to the front of the line. Get live in the comment section if you want to get in live for your comments or questions. The link at the top of the chat is the way to go. Appreciate you watching. Hope you're going to enjoy this one. I can't wait until we get into this Texans training camp. So without further ado, let's start off with just the first thing that jumps off the page about Texans training camp. Is this wide receiver situation is really nasty right now. I mean, they are just plain rude to the defensive backs on this team. There was one play where C.J. Stroud, the result of the play was a dump-off pass to Joe Mixon. But Stroud had Stefon Diggs or Tank Dell, either one, and Joe Mixon, whichever one of those guys that he wanted, he had them. So this was 7-on-7, and you had Stefon Diggs on one side, you had Tank Dell on the other, and they just absolutely annihilated their guys. Tank Dell cooked Kamari Lassiter. Stefon Diggs cooked Jalen Petrie. They were both open, and then C.J. Stroud dumped it off to Joe Mixon. He talked about it after practice, something he wants to focus on this year, own the offense, have more control of it, and then if the big play's not there right away, sometimes you can take that less exciting play and make it happen. That was that moment, because a few more seconds, and Diggs is running wide open, and Dell is running wide open. John Metchie had a couple of nice moments against defensive backs. There was a moment where Jeff Okudah, he beat Jeff Okudah so clean off the line. All Okudah could do was basically rip his shirt off. Like everything but the shirt coming off is what happened. He grabbed Metchie, and Metchie kind of shook loose. He was late to the pass because of the pass interference, but Okudah got beat so bad, he had to basically hold on for dear life. Xavier Hutchinson had a really nice play over on the sideline against C.J. Henderson. Nico Collins, with ease, just scooted past Derek Stingley. Now, Stingley caught up pretty quick, and it forced C.J. Stroud to kind of airmail the pass just a little bit more than I'm sure where Stroud would have wanted it. But Nico Collins looks really good. All these guys look like they're in really good shape as well. Things are crisp. They're tight on the routes. Stefon Diggs had a really nice play in teams where he got out of his break, hit the sideline. He was right there. You know, the pass was on the money, and it was a first down in that team's situation late in practice. And then the play of the day was the play that started the day. And it was C.J. Stroud drops back, and he just shoots a laser to Tank Dell. And I'm not sure Kamari Lassiter could have played it any better than he did. Maybe if he was just a tiny step faster. But that thing whizzed right by him, right into Tank Dell's hands over the middle of the field. It was a great tone setter for the day. Now, later on, the defense had a couple of nice moments in teams when they were coming off the edge. They made some things difficult. But ultimately, the thing that just jumps off the page to you is these wide receivers are going to be really fun to watch. It's going to be trial by fire for every one of those defensive backs that is not Derek Stingley, and even Stingley from time to time. It's going to be a very fun watch over the course of training camp to not only see the top three, which we know is Tank Dell and Stefon Diggs and Nico Collins, but to also see the guys that are in contention for spots 4, 5, and what we all assume is spot 6 at the wide receiver position. So even Ben Skoranek had a really nice play today over the middle. I'm trying to think if there's a guy that I didn't see make a nice play. I mean, I can't recall a Robert Woods or Steven Sims big play. Jared Wayne had a nice play. Like, these receivers were all over the place, and we're having a big, big day. That's the thing that just jumps off the page to you when you show up at Texans training camp right off the bat is, man, these receivers are really good. And then in special teams, Stefon Diggs was really busy. Not busy like you think, though. He was off to the side with Tank Dell and with Nico Collins while they were running some punt return stuff, and he's over there showing them how to do stuff off the line. They're pantomiming to each other. They're having these animated movements about very small things in the route. Dell and Diggs are going back and forth. Nico Collins is sitting there listening. after practice. Stefon Diggs is doing the same thing with John Metchie. This wide receiver room is definitely picking the brain of the multi-time Pro Bowler and one of the most productive receivers in football over the past 4 seasons in Stefon Diggs. And he is a willing teacher. It feels like any free moment they have, he almost just goes over there and has something to say. And look, he's been one of the most productive wide receivers. He gets open more than just about any wide receiver, and he's the second most targeted wide receiver over the past 4 years, behind only Devontae Adams. And you want to listen. Nico Collins said after practice that Stefon Diggs has taught him so much already that he can't even list it. The list is so long. So that is something to pay attention to going forward, as well as the big brain on Stefon Diggs and the knowledge that the other wide receivers, Metchie and Collins and Dell and anybody else, can take from a guy like Stefon Diggs. We'll answer your questions here. We'll get to the comments as we go along. A couple of more topics that I want to get to. Also, a sponsor that I want to get to. Our sponsor for the video today, Urban Furniture. Urban Furniture and Decor is the place to go for all of your furniture. Luxury meets affordability. UrbanFurnitureDecor.com is the website. They've extended their 4th of July sale for a few more days. Through the 20th, the 4th of July sale is still happening. Up to 60% off this gorgeous furniture. Look at it. It's incredible furniture. It's some of the best furniture you'll ever see. Something for everybody. They specialize in furniture from Turkey and the Middle East, but they've got fine Italian furniture, traditional American furniture, from the bedroom to the breakfast room, everything in between. Urban Furniture and Decor has it. Go to the website and browse around. You're not going to find better prices in town on beautiful, luxury, and affordable furniture like UrbanFurnitureDecor.com. UrbanFurnitureDecor.com. Check the website in the description. Go by the showroom at 7909 Hillcroft. You will not be disappointed. And fellas, send the website to your lady. Let her do a little window shopping online, and then she'll send you over there to go sort it out with the credit card, I'm assuming. But you know what? It's not going to cost you a whole bunch of cash. Best prices in town. Urban Furniture and Decor. Appreciate them sponsoring this video. We get to a couple of comments. Get to some of these other things that pop up here. Good to see everybody in the chat, from Chris and Derek. Beast Mode. Jalen, good to see you. Appreciate you, Cody. Mario, good to see you. Chewy, appreciate you. The Bully. Gage. Preston. I think I said that, or Preston 8. Anyway. BP, what's up, baby? H-Town's Ultimate. Bobby, thank you, everybody, for showing up. Nathan says, sounds like Lassiter's clear-cut number 2. I don't know if anybody's clear-cut yet at anything, but he's got the opportunity to settle in to the cornerback 2 spot for sure. For sure. Leave your questions in there. We'll get to them. I'll favorite them as we go along. A couple of more things that I want to talk about. Super healthy team right now. Laramie Tunsil worked out on the side. He didn't work out today, but D'Amico Ryans kind of almost laughingly said, hey, Laramie Tunsil's going to be ready for the season. Without Tunsil on the field, Blake Fisher took what should have been the Laramie Tunsil snaps, and there were some mixed results. I mean, look, it's no pads. They can't get super physical, and he had to go against Will Anderson. There was one play. It was one of the first team period plays, and Fisher is the left tackle, and Will Anderson's rushing. And Will Anderson takes him on the outside and takes him really deep. And Fisher, to his credit, stayed with Will Anderson the whole time. So Anderson didn't make the play on C.J. Stroud. But what happened was, because of the direction that Fisher took Anderson, that pushed C.J. Stroud up into the pocket, and the right side of the offensive line, Titus Howard included, was just collapsing in on C.J. Stroud. There wasn't really a lot to do. He ended up kind of dumping it down, I think, for like a 1-yard loss. But Daniil Hunter and crew on that side were pushing things over on the right side. Yeah, I mentioned Titus Howard, good to go. I was worried about Titus Howard because he had a serious knee injury in his season last year. Conversation about something to do with the patellar tendon. Sometimes injuries like that can cost you games into the regular season. If Howard's good to go and practicing day 1 of training camp, no big worry there. Noah Brown on the field practicing after missing some time at minicamp and OTAs, coming back from a shoulder injury. He was good to go. Kendrick Green, good to go on the field. Did have a big knee brace coming back from his injury, but Kendrick Green on the field and ready to go. The Texans actually only had 4 players that were officially out in this one. That's linebacker Del'Shawn Phillips, cornerback D'Angelo Ross, and fullback Andrew Beck. Those players started on the physically unable to perform list. They'll need to pass a conditioning test, and they should be good to go. With Beck down, the guy you pay attention to in his stead is the other fullback on this roster, Troy Hairston. And Hairston is an interesting player. We'll talk about him a little bit later on, but there's only one fullback healthy right now. Kind of gives him the advantage in the competition. Beck's got to get going here pretty soon, as does Del'Shawn Phillips, who's a special teams ace, and D'Angelo Ross, who has a lot of competition for cornerback spots, not only on their active roster, but on the practice squad as well. The other player not practicing, Dylan Horton. I did see Dylan Horton, but he's not practicing. He's on the non-football illness list, so still coming back from the cancer situation, and it's hard to get a timeline and put a gauge on that. Take as much time as you need, get as healthy as you need, and then when you're ready to go, Dylan Horton, I'm sure that the Texans will be ready to use you on the field. So from a healthy Texans team, I thought that was a big element for this training camp. They've got to stay healthy through training camp. Remember last year when guys just started dropping like flies? It felt like every day we were talking about a big injury. Quessenberry is one of the first big ones. He was done for the year. That pushed Juice Scruggs into the center spot. That pushed him into a situation where he was going to start. Ultimately, Scruggs got hurt in training camp. They had to practice, or they had to cancel joint practices with the Saints because of the attrition of training camp. And the fact that they have additional training camps, it comes out to about 10 to 13 extra days worth of work. And they kind of eased into practice today, not the most volatile, crazy practice. It was a good sign to see that maybe they have taken some measures to make sure something like what happened last year didn't happen. So a super healthy team right now. Keep getting those comments in. Get your questions in as well. We will get to all of them. Okay, all of them on the live stream today. Punt return conversation. Look, special teams is big. Somebody could make the team by being a special teams ace. Somebody could make this team by just producing well on special teams. And the guys that were in consideration, it seems, for returning punts were Desmond King, who's the starting slot corner, Steven Sims, who the last time he touched the football, asked the Baltimore Ravens what happened when Steven Sims touched the football. I mean, he turned the punt for the touchdown in the playoffs. I mean, Sims, if he can produce on punt returns, kick returns, he could find himself very easily on this roster as a contributor for the Texans. Robert Woods, hanging around in the conversation, still on this team. He was doing punt return duty. Miles Bryant, who is one of the smaller players the Texans have. He's the backup slot corner behind Desmond King. So Miles Bryant is a guy that was also taking some punt returns. And here's the really fun one. Here's the exciting one. Tank Dell. I mean, I don't want to see it every time, but remember when the Texans would occasionally just throw Will Fuller back there? I wouldn't mind every now and then just a little Tank Dell punt return experiment. So those are your punt return options. I would think that those guys are also in the conversation for kickoffs with maybe an extra name or two in the conversation. Didn't see much special teams from Dameon Pierce. So that's something to pay attention to. If Pierce is going to make the team, he needs to be able to contribute on the field a lot as a backup running back because Joe Mixon's going to be the starter. But if he can't do that and he can't contribute a bunch on the field, how can he contribute on special teams? Is there another unit or another piece of the special teams units that he can participate in? That's something to pay attention to as training camp rolls on. And a couple of non-star standouts. Let's start with Dameon Pierce. The play that really kind of made me write 31 in my notebook, just scribble it down, put a couple exclamation marks behind it. Dameon Pierce caught the handoff or grabbed the handoff, and it was one cut, go. Hit the hole, figured it out, saw it. Nobody touched him. Now, again, no tackle, not in pads, but Pierce was off to the races through that hole. Later on, he had a little cut that he had to go see and make something out of almost nothing. So Dameon Pierce had a couple of nice moments, a couple of nice plays in the practice in the first one. And that's what you're going to have to consistently see from Pierce if he wants to be running back too, is he's got to figure out how to operate and work in this zone scheme. Well, check the box on day one. for Dameon Pierce. It looked like a good one for him. Sticking with the running backs, man, it's not so much a play, but you just notice him. Like, it's hard to not pay attention to British Brooks. British Brooks is number 44 on the roster. He is a large running back. He has got to be 30, maybe 40 pounds heavier than Gerard Jordan, who's a fellow rookie. Jordan was drafted. British Brooks was an undrafted free agent. He's got to be probably 40 pounds heavier than him. And he looks like a filing cabinet out there. Like, I would not want to try to tackle British Brooks. Now, I can't tell you from the top of my head any plays that he made, but you notice when British Brooks is out there doing drills. So I want to keep an eye on him, pay a little bit closer attention to him. I mentioned Gerard Jordan. He had a nice play where he kind of cut things to the outside, turned on the jets, and he can see it. It feels like that was the scout on him coming out of college, was he's got good vision. He's got experience in zone schemes. He can hit singles and doubles until he hits you a home run. And you kind of saw it a little bit on one play for him over the course of the day. Kenyon Green had a big standout moment. They had a team session, and again, no pads, no full contact, can't take him to the ground. But Kenyon Green just, boom, stoned his guy. I think it was Tim Settle, might have been Foley Fadukasi, but he just kind of stoned his guy, held him up, and Green looks great. I mean, he looks as good as he's ever looked in a Texans uniform. The number's different from the old 59. He's got 76 now. He still looks to be in great shape. And then with the changed body, with being healthy, you're starting to see some of the things in drills and movement of Kenyon Green that made him a first-round pick. The footwork, the agility, the quickness, he's able to showcase those things because A, he's healthy, and B, he's transformed his body. So Kenyon Green is a guy that I would like to see when the pads come on, when they start running the football, and that's going to be a fun one to watch as well. And speaking of guys that just catch your attention, all right, and I've been fooled by this gentleman before, and I don't know if it was because I was standing next to my dear friend Landry Locker, which, by the way, the locker room has already broken down training camp. Check out that video after this one. I don't know if I was just because I was standing next to him and he's Landry's favorite player, but my goodness, it's hard to not notice Tegan Quateriano out there doing stuff. And I've been fooled before. And Quateriano can't stay healthy. But when he's on the field, he is a large individual and he is athletic. And that is something that not every tight end can say. He's got a little bit of experience. He probably knows a little bit of the playbook. He's got a little bit of blocking prowess. You could maybe trust Tegan Quateriano if he stays healthy. Could they maybe not have a fullback and have a fourth tight end? Could they maybe lose a player at a different spot to keep four tight ends? Do they need four tight ends? I don't know, but we're going to pay a little bit more attention to Tegan Quateriano. I wrote on Houston Football when I did my way too early 53-man roster prediction. I wrote the tight end was pretty easy. I'll just get rid of Tegan Quateriano. I might have spoke too soon. So training camp day one is finished. It's in the books. Let's get to some of your questions, get to some of your comments as well. And super chats go to the front of the line like Jim Davies. Jim, appreciate you for the super chat. Thank you. Has CJ Stroud already established himself on the Texans' Mount Rushmore? I can't think of anybody that has more talent and impact than him. Example, Andre and JJ. My Texans' Mount Rushmore is Andre Johnson, is J.J. Watt, is Arian Foster, and Bob McNair because he brought the team back. Now, if I can't pick McNair and I have to pick another player, figuring out that last player is tough. Maybe I can go D'Amico Ryans. It's tough. Mount Rushmore, I don't know. But no, Stroud's not there yet. I would say not there yet, Jim. Not there yet. Okay, I'm going to go through and get as many of these comments as I can get to, and we'll just fire through them. Keep sending them in here on the comments section. Juan says, couldn't go this year. You're my eyes and ears, Stoots. That's what I'm there for, man. I am there to observe, bring you guys the information, and talk about it and have a blast talking about it. I believe you get the most out of people like myself and Landry Locker and Seth Payne that are there for the entirety of practice, watch everything, pay attention to everything, talk back and forth with each other, have conversations about what we're seeing. I was picking Seth's brain about how defensive linemen get stuff out of practice and how they can use stuff in practice, even though there's no pads and no contact. I believe myself, Seth, Landry, John Harris, those are the resources, people that are there every single day, every single training camp. Those are the folks that can bring you the best, and I want to do just that. Are we worried about the secondary at all, or is it mainly our offense is filthy? Look, first day, 7-on-7, offense going to be a little bit ahead of the defense. Not super, super worried about it just yet, but offense going to be ahead of the defense on that standpoint, especially 7-on-7. 7-on-7 is built for offense. I mean, you don't have a pass rush, and I talked about it. What happened when the pass rush showed up? They blew the offense to smithereens for the first couple of plays. So when the pass rush showed up, all of a sudden the secondary looked a whole hell of a lot better. Good to see you, Andrew. Ernesto, appreciate you. Addie, I mean, it's the first day of training camp, and they didn't do anything too exciting per se, so can't judge the secondary too much as of yet. Yeah, look, and one practice doesn't define anybody. One practice, one rep doesn't define anybody. But today's the starting point. It's kind of where you place everybody, the expectations, the conversation about everybody, and then you sort of adjust from there. And D'Amico Ryans has talked about it. You stack days. Well, if you stack a bunch of bad days, we're all going to notice. If you stack a bunch of good days, we're all going to notice. If it's up and down, we'll see it. We'll see it. So good to see you, DeRhino, Texans fan. JD the Beast, we love you too, man. Cody Stoots, the GOAT. I'm not the GOAT. One day I want to be. I'm going to work hard to be the GOAT. One day I'm not the GOAT just yet. Nathan says, Cody, for the fans that have been here since the Texans' inception, what a great time to be alive. Sky's the limit for this team. Appreciate all your coverage. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for commenting and watching and throwing likes on the video, visiting the great sponsors that we have like Urban Furniture Decor, which you guys will not be disappointed. Beautiful furniture over there at Urban Furniture Decor. Check them out in the description down below. The 4th of July sale has been extended for a couple of more days. Get up to 60% off your furniture. Ernesto, keep hearing good things about Diggs, that he's bringing good energy around the team. Yeah, look, I mean, if Diggs is happy, he's going to be an amazing teammate. He's going to be an amazing teammate if he's happy. I don't see any reason now or anytime soon that he's going to be upset or unhappy. So he's going to be an amazing teammate. Chewy says, Petrie and DP, two guys I really wanted to see them perform last year. Both kind of fell flat. Hope they can bounce back. Yep, they've got to. I mean, there's two guys that they're relying on, so they've got to. Chris asks, how did Okudah and Henderson look? Okudah had the bad pass interference. Henderson got beat by Xavier Hutchinson. Had a couple of nice reps at a different portion of practice. Both popped over and did a little special teams. That's just something to monitor that we're going to have to put, I put it out here in the little notebook, stuff to monitor, stuff to pay attention to. CJ Henderson and Jeff Okudah, former top 10 picks, playing special teams. They may have to. Special teams is more important than ever. So they may have to play special teams, and that may be a way and a route for them to make the team. Adieu, good to see you. Marion Sperry says, be kind, rewind if you missed something. Devin, great to see you, my friend. Brandon, Pierce and Petrie produced rookie year. Stroud and Anderson, Dell produced rookie year. Could definitely see Lassiter, Bullock, and Stover producing rookie year. Look, that's something that CJ Stroud or Nick Caserio. Boom, the brain's working here. Here we go. That's something Nick Caserio mentioned, and he's like, they're not afraid to put guys on the field. They're not afraid to get guys out there and trust them and put rookies on the field. D'Amico Ryans has never been afraid to do that. And then D'Amico, after practice, said, we're not waiting on you, to the rookies. That was the message to them. We're not waiting on you. Get in there, make an impact. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. Curtis asks, how did John Metchie do? A lot of John Metchie questions. Metchie's going to be near the top of the watch list each and every day. Metchie had a couple of nice plays. I believe there was a play late in practice. I couldn't see it for sure. I believe there's a play late in practice where Metchie was headed out of bounds with the ball, and I don't know that he got totally out of bounds. And one of the defenders knocked it away, and the defense was freaking out, and they were pointing that it was a live ball. I can see it in my brain here. Jalen Petrie, because he wears the headband, Petrie was like he had his helmet in one hand and he was just like, ah, like the ball is live, and one of the defenders dove on it. Metchie was claiming it looked like that he was not in bounds when that happened. So, I don't know. Brand, appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. If you got a question, I'll get to it. If you have questions, you put them in the super chats. They go to the front of the line. Appreciate the super chat, Brand. You guys are fantastic with the support, from the super chats to the likes to the subscribes to the visiting the sponsors. Thank you guys so much. Thanks so much. I appreciate that, Brand. All right. What number is Jerry Hughes now that Daniil Hunter has 55? Jerry Hughes is 52. It's 52. El Mario from the Kenyon Green thing. Damn, that's what I want to hear about Kenyon Green. Yeah, he's got the shot to be the starting left guard. He's got the shot. If it's not him, I do believe it's going to be Kendrick Green, but Kenyon Green's got the shot. If the body has changed and he's showcasing the quickness and he's still strong enough, then he's going to be the left guard. I'm excited for him when the pads go on. Bobby wants to know about Cade Stover. Stover, I saw him blocking, getting kind of physical one time. The ball didn't look like it went to him that often. He did run one route, and they call it individual, where just the offense and the tight ends and the wide receivers, and they run kind of a slow. I think it's actually install. They run sort of a slow version of the routes, just to kind of let the quarterback read it, throw it, and Stover's route looked a little like mechanical almost, like not as fluid and smooth as you would want. But after practice, Stover and Dalton Schultz were over off to the side by themselves, and they were working for an extra probably 20, 30 minutes over there by themselves. Another weird thing about Stover, he starts practice with no gloves, and then sometimes later he puts gloves on. Like he'll run through receiving drills and blocking drills with no gloves, and then he'll put gloves on later. It's unique. I've got to kind of know why that is. It's something that's kind of itching the back of my brain here. Who'll be the fourth wide receiver in the Texans go 4 wide on passing downs? So it may not be a wide receiver. It may be Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan is a guy that D'Amico Ryans talked about, gained a lot of confidence towards the back end of last year. They have expectations for him. As far as Brevin Jordan goes, he's in his contract year. He plays really well. I don't know if he's staying with the Texans, but he could get a nice deal somewhere else. He's athletic enough to be that fourth pass catcher in a 4 pass catcher set. If it's not, if it's just straight up 4 wide receivers, I would tell you it's Noah Brown. So CJ Stroud did a really fun thing. I noticed this. They were doing it was quarterbacks and wide receivers. And they do this drill where 2 quarterbacks throw at the same time. One throws to the right side of the field, one throws to the left side of the field. And CJ was on the left side. So the first play he threw it to Tank. And the quarterback stayed put. And then CJ was getting ready to run the play and throw it to Nico, but he looked over to his right and he saw Stefon Diggs was up. Now Davis Mills was standing next to him, and Diggs was up over here with Mills. And he signaled to Diggs to flip. So Metchie jumped in front of Diggs. And so CJ threw his play to Nico. Then Mills steps out. Keenum steps in on the left side, and CJ jumps over to the right side. So then CJ got to throw the ball to Stefon Diggs, which I thought was a really kind of just small adjustment that was pretty unique and interesting. And I hadn't seen a quarterback do that before. It was like a little small detail. And then I wrote down the next round of passing in that same drill. And CJ threw to these guys in order: Tank Dell, Nico Collins, John Metchie, Stefon Diggs, and Noah Brown. And then he was out of the drill. It was the other 3 quarterbacks taking care of business at that point. So, all right, keep the comments coming. We will get to all of them. I promise. We'll get to all of them. I will get you caught up. We will get to all of those. I can see where I am here on the bookmark. But if you want to get in on video, like my guy, Battle Red Derek, what's up, big dog?
Stoots.
How you
doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Are we ready to get the game started?
I mean, let's play tomorrow.
I feel like the plane's finally left the gate. We're headed towards the runway. We're going to take off soon.
Yep.
It's an exciting day, even if it's just nerdy stuff like training camp.
Yeah, look. I was sitting there and I was standing with Fox 26's Will Conkle, their sports guy, and I just looked at him and I was like, I just love this. And he's like, "You're a real football nerd, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yep, I sure am."
There's a lot of us, and you're our man because you're the guy that gives us the best info. Thanks for being there.
I appreciate
putting in all the time you do. It's awesome. I do got a question for. Well, first, check out my new hat for this season. How do you like this?
I noticed that you've already got the new gear. Oh man, that is sweet. That is sweet. The logo with the horns. That's awesome.
I got to keep Doug happy, man. He'd be upset if I showed up in the old gear. So got the new jersey. You got the custom hat to match.
Beautiful.
So we're ready to represent. It's going to be an exciting year. Question for you, and maybe something to look out for. I know it's the first day, but it looked like Slowick last year was trying to sort of get a version of Deebo Samuel into the offense. I think he used Hutchinson most of the time for like jet sweeps and screens and things like that. Kind of gave up on it after trying to push it early and it not working particularly well. Do you think he does something similar, maybe with a different player this year? And just like as an outside chance, how do you think Brevin Jordan might fit into that role?
Yeah, that's a unique and interesting kind of approach to maybe think about Brevin in that role. It's not the craziest thing because the idea behind doing it the way the Texans are set up is it would not be something that you're consistently doing. It'd be something to catch the defense, just totally catch them by surprise. And I don't know that many people would think, a handoff to Brevin Jordan or a little pop pass to Brevin Jordan would be something that the Texans are ready to do. As far as like a gadget kind of different look type guy, if Steven Sims makes the team as the punt returner, kick returner, special teams guy, you could do some gadgety stuff like some end arounds, some handoffs to him. He's not Deebo because of the size is drastically different.
Yeah.
But like I would think that your special teams guy like Sims is sort of your gadget unique guy, and then something kind of unique like that with Brevin. I wouldn't put it past Slowick. I would think there's also an element of like, don't try to do too much because like I think a lot of the basic stuff's going to work with the wideouts that they've got just based off, look, it's one day, but I mean, they were running some pretty easy stuff and guys were just flying open, because it's hard to cover everybody.
Yeah. Well, it might be a way to feed into Brevin's strengths. We saw him in the Cleveland game last year, right? He's got the speed, he's got the size, he's good with the ball. He's not a very good blocker, so that might be a good way to really utilize him on the roster. And because of his size, that's why I thought of him.
And he had a whole other gear that we didn't know existed in that Cleveland game. So
that's right. He was fast.
He might need a couple extra steps to get going, but once he got going, nobody caught him.
Yeah, I'd like to see some more of that. Maybe we'll put him on kick returns.
Hey, well, don't try to do it a good time.
With the new rules, it might be a good idea.
Who knows?
I think pretty creative.
I think anybody and everybody's available for these kick returns, man. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing it. All right, I'll let you go. Thanks for all you do.
I appreciate it. Derek is fantastic, man. If you see him at the game, tell him hello. Little Jesus, Cody, you think Metchie's making the team? Been hearing a lot of hype about him. I don't see a scenario why he wouldn't make the team right now. Now, somebody's going to go out there and outplay him, or he's going to play poorly. How did non-starters look second and third depth? Hard to determine necessarily how, when they did group, because they really don't run a ton of second, third team group, but Mills moved the ball a little bit, and I think Case did too. P Nasty, the season has started. It has gotten going, baby. It's got going. Esco says, Stoots, finally happy football's back. Absolutely. Halston's been a while. As tell me, was there good news on returning Lonnie Johnson? I mean, I saw him. If that's good news, but that's all I can report from Lonnie Johnson. I saw him there. It wasn't like a play or anything. Lonnie's got to make some plays, man. That's a fierce defensive back situation. He's a special teams guy, but he's got to go out there and make some plays if he wants to make this team. Did you hear the Titans will wear the Oilers uniforms against the Texans again in Week 18? I mean, do that at your own peril, Tennessee. Do that at your own peril. Cody, if you could pick to go to one game this year, which one you pick in Battle of the Texas against Cowgirls, back at Jets, revenge game at Baltimore, go to Arrowhead against Mahomes. So Baltimore's coming here. Christmas is here this year. I'm going to the Cowboys game. Going to Arrowhead in December, I mean, that seems like that would just be phenomenal. Green Bay would be fun. Green Bay would be a lot of fun. That'd be my road game that I'd go to. H-Town Big Steve says, you have me so excited for this team. And this is just the first day of training camp. We got 20 more training camp practices to build the excitement. You think Diggs will receive an extension after this season? I don't. What's something that's worrying you right now? Maybe a little worried about tackle depth. A little worried about the defensive backfield. It's not the most solid unit. They've got some cohesion that they need to get together, and I don't love the depth if Derek Stingley gets hurt. And I mean, he gets hurt. That's what happens with Derek Stingley. He's gotten hurt 4 straight seasons in a row. So I worry a little bit about the depth there. And, I'm a little worried if they can't figure out who the running back behind Joe Mixon is. That would be scary. But nothing like that showcased like, oh my God, day one, they're screwed. Like nothing like that popped up. Lonnie got traded when he's going to have a breakout year for us. I don't think that's the case. River Bend says, love Cody, positive, insightful. Thank you. I try to be both those things. And look, when there's not positive stuff, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I'll shoot you straight. All right, keep those questions and comments coming in. We will get to all of them right after I tell you a little bit more about my friends at Urban Furniture and Decor. Luxury meets affordability. They have a style of furniture for everyone. And this furniture, you see this beautiful furniture. I'm a big guy. I can ruin some furniture. This is not only great looking furniture, it's well built. It's going to last you for a very, very long time. From the side table to the whole bedroom set, from the dining room table, something for everyone. Traditional, modern, Turkish, Italian, everything that you would want from furniture. Urban Furniture and Decor has it, and they have it at the best prices in town. The best local prices are at Urban Furniture and Decor. Don't believe me? Okay, you don't believe me? Go to urbanfurnituredecor.com, urbanfurnituredecor.com, or visit their showroom, 7909 Hillcroft, and find out for yourself. The July 4th sale has been extended for a few extra days, up to 60% off. Check them out at the website. You will not be disappointed with the prices, and you will not be disappointed when you shop with Urban Furniture and Decor. Check out the sponsors. They do a great job supporting the show. Please do a great job supporting them. Are they that bad, or is our depth on special teams questionable? No, I think their depth's going to be good on special teams. Tank will be the number one at the end of the year. Okay. What are you most worried? Are we just excited for? What are you most worried about? I'm excited to watch these wide receivers continue to just grow. And what am I worried about? I'm worried about the secondary depth. Is Justin Simmons still an option? I mean, if he was an option, then I think he'd be here. That'd be my thing about Justin Simmons. What number is Quintez Cephas, the wide receiver that they added who was suspended last year for gambling? He is number 81. Quintez Cephas is number 81. Do Nico and Diggs interact with each other? I rarely see them talking to each other like Diggs does with other receivers. I may be looking into it too much. They do interact with each other. Nico talked about how he's already learned so much from Stefon Diggs, he can't even list everything that he's learned, and that Diggs has been a great resource for him. And Nico and Tank were sitting with Stefon Diggs during a special teams period, going over some wide receiver stuff. When do the pads get put on? I believe that's going to be next week. You either go out there and play, or you're going to watch. Exactly. Go earn your spot. How's Lassiter looking? Nothing to report today. I mean, he basically covered a play perfectly, and C.J. Stroud was just a little bit better on the play, hitting Tank Dell for the reception. So Patterson maybe starting left guard. I don't know. Maybe. I have to see rotation when the pads come on. Who's on the Kendrick Green train? One for yes, two for no. I'm on the train because I believe he's going to be the backup left guard and the backup center. I would tell you Kendrick Green's on this team. I'd be shocked if he's not. Oh, Juan, I'm so glad you asked this question. How's the new punter doing? He's disgusting. I was standing there watching him with Landry today, and he had probably 2 punts that hung in the air for 5 seconds. And then it was like he was a pitcher. This punt would fly, this way. This punt would fly like 180. This one was a knuckleball that was going all over the place. Tommy Townsend is a badass. And I know Cam Johnson had better stats than Townsend last year. Townsend was really good 2 years ago. He's punted for the Chiefs for all these years. He's a badass, and he was hitting some bombs. It was fun to watch, and I don't usually like watching punters, but it was fun to watch. See Autry more at tackle or end? I see him more at end. Does Hunter moving off 99 mean something? No. Frank. Good to see you. Blake Fisher rolling with the ones while left tackle works back, or LT works back. Yeah, the snaps that you would think LT was getting, Blake Fisher was getting those. I must Pandaling. Good to see you. Frank Silva, mash the like button, fam. Yeah, hit that like button. It's a little thumbs up thing down there. Hit that sucker. CJ Stroud loves John Metchie. Answered my question. Thanks, Jordan and Green. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for the super chat earlier as well. Speaking of new gear, did y'all see that new H-Town duffel bag? Ooh, I had not seen that. That looks good, though. Cody, when will you launch a T-shirt design for your show? I'd buy your merchandise. I mean, I'm working on some stuff. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up here. I'll just give you guys a little teaser of something that I've been working on. And this isn't necessarily like something you can wear, but it's going to be really cool. Let's see here. Let's pull this up and let's see if I can do a little share screen here and show you guys what I've been working on. Do a little share screen. Let's do the window. All right. I want to show you guys this. And look, we're working on hats, some more hats. The people love the red hats. This one, actually, I've heard a lot of people say that they want a red hat. So we're working on the red hats. Maybe some bucket hats. It's going to be hot. But this is something fun I've been working on. And I know I'm behind on the comments, so I'll catch up to your comments here in just a second. Check this sucker out. This is a 16 by 20 frame, and it's Texans playing cards. And look at the details on the king and the queen. They got eye black on. They got the Texans logo on there. The Jack's got the football. The King's throwing the football. The Joker's over here, doing stuff that you would think Toro does. I make these. I donated one to the Scott Fish Bowl fantasy football that I was a part of. Actually donated 2 of them, and Texans fans went nuts for them. I've given one to my friend who's an Arkansas fan. I can do a lot of different stuff with this. If you're interested in this, please let me know because I can make these, and the loyal listeners are going to get the best deals on these. The loyal listeners will get the best deals on these. Man, it's fun. A lot of fun making these too. So if you guys think that's cool, let me know. But I'll work on some shirts. I mean, I don't know that I have a shirt design that I love, and I want to make them. I want to make this stuff. The art is a little bit more than like the hats, but I want to make it easy to get hats and shirts, and we're going to do a new run of stickers and all kinds of stuff. So I want to make that stuff affordable for you guys. I'm not trying to get rich doing this. I'm trying to pay the bills and go on a vacation in the middle of July next year. Landry said punting's good. Punting's not good. Punting's great. The punting was great. Pick 6 cards. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. You should be pumped, man. This is going to be great. It's in August 22nd, I believe. August 22nd is going to be your joint practices with the Rams. Kalen Bullock is who Brand is asking about. Kalen Bullock. Kalen Bullock had a heat-seeking missile moment where he identified the play and just fired off, and he would have crushed John Metchie if it had been live reps. He would have crushed John Metchie. Little Jesus says, Cody always order unsalted fries. LOL, I'll be honest, I need to try. So here's the tip. Here's the tip and the trick. And I actually learned this from Ken Hoffman. And Ken Hoffman, unfortunately, he recently passed away. Ken was a longtime writer for the Houston Chronicle, Houston Press. I met Ken way back in the day at 1560 The Game. Did some stuff with him at Culture Map as well. Ken was an incredibly entertaining human being. He's the one that taught me the French fry trick. The French fry trick is order your fries with no salt, because they salt the fries when they come out of the fryer. They got to make your fries fresh. Now it's going to add time to your wait. So go inside. Don't go through the drive-thru and wait and hold everybody up. But after they give you the fresh fries, ask for a little bit of salt. Salt them yourself. Fresh fries with the salt. Fantastic. That's the old Ken Hoffman trick. Man, rest in peace, Ken. Great dude. Loved by so many people, and real sad that he passed away this week. That was not cool to read. My buddy Rahil Ramzanali and David Nuno, they were great friends with Ken. And I interacted with him a handful of times. We loved talking wrestling. Ken made me interview at Porn Star when I was an intern at 1560 The Game. And he made me hit on her. He's like, hey, how would you hit on her? And it was disaster for me, but it was great radio. So the world will miss Ken Hoffman. The world's not as bright without Ken Hoffman. It's a sad deal. So rest in peace, Ken. Gage says, make sure you hit that swarm that like button. I use the swarm the like button a lot. Gage gave me that, so I use the swarm the like button a lot. Fisher at left tackle because we thought he was only a right tackle. No, he played left tackle for one game at Notre Dame, then he got hurt and somebody else took over. Then he played right tackle mostly, but he can play both at the next level. Why the heck aren't the CJ Stroud Vapor Fuse jerseys not available for purchase? Great question. They're actually behind on custom jerseys. So I think they've had a great demand. I think they've broken some records with new merchandise sales. I will find this out because you're not the only person that's asked me about this. I will find this out for you. And send me an email. My email's in the description to remind me or to get in contact with you. But I will find out an update on that. The Vapor Fuse jerseys. Please send me an email and I will talk to the appropriate people. You and Landry Locker team up? Well, we teamed up this morning. We did a whole hour together this morning, getting you ready for Texans training camp. We're going to do a lot of stuff together. I feel like I almost did Donald Trump there. We're going to do a lot of stuff together. So much stuff together. Landry Locker, one of the best. I noticed it. I knew he was one of the best. We're going to do a lot of stuff together. He's going to be on here. I'm going to be on the locker room. So follow him and check out the locker room. Juan says, oh, I like that poster. I want that design on a shirt. Will be fire. Yeah, certainly will be. Yeah, I could probably make that. You know what? That's actually kind of a cool idea for a design. Work on that. Did Jamal Hill make any plays? Didn't see anything. Something to pay attention to. They put him out there pretty early on in practice. They had more linebackers on the field initially in 7-on-7 than I anticipated they would. Red Tank Dell jerseys. My email's in the description. So send me an email of like merch that you guys want me to ask about, or if you're interested in in one of these right here, and I can do college teams. I can do the Astros. I obviously can do the Texans here for you. If you're interested in that, send me an email. My email is in the description, codystoots@gmail.com. You can send me an email. So I will ask about your merchandise stuff. I will get you merch to buy. I'll get you artwork to buy. Be good. H-Town Steve, real big on Danico Autry. I am too. Danico Autry is the best depth player on this team. I mean, you got Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson, and then right after that, you got a guy that had 11.5 sacks last year coming in off the bench. So, yeah, Danico Autry is one of the best depth players on this team. Little Jesus says the bucket hats caught my attention. Yeah, we'll get you. We'll get your bucket hat up, a little Houston football logo, or maybe just Houston football and some nice, some fun script. That'd be good. We'll get it good. Red Hood says, tell my wife Cassie to stop working and listen to Texans updates. She's right next to me. Cassie, you got to quit working so hard. You work too hard. You support Red Hood. You probably are the breadwinner. You probably make all the money for the household. You make enough. Just take a break. Listen to some Texans updates. Relax. Make him go get you a drink from the fridge. Okay. Make him schedule you a manicure or pedicure, whichever is your choice next week, and just sit back and listen to some Texans updates. He'll take care of you, and I got you covered on the Texans updates. So, just relax a little bit. Relax. Okay, so training camp again tomorrow, day 2 tomorrow. Lots to get to, plenty to pay attention to. We've kind of got a hit list of things we want to pay attention to. So training camp day 2 tomorrow. You get a video on that. My Houston football write-up, okay, my Houston football write-up about training camp, which gets to your inbox, your email. Every single day there's a training camp practice. I give you the practice report and the observations. Today it was over 1,000 words on practice. It goes to your Houston football. The link's in the description down below to the post today. It's $7 a month. I will make it worth your money. There's some exclusive fun stuff coming to Houston football as well. We're going to have a community around Houston football that we're going to build. So $7 a month. The link's in the description down below. Check them out. Urban Furniture Decor. I'm telling you, the furniture is beautiful. I've been looking at a new base for my bed because the adjustable base that I got, it's a little wobbly. The big fella's been hard on it. I've been looking at a new base for my bed. I'm thinking about a new couch, a new recliner. The 4th of July sale has been extended for a couple of more days, up to 60% off some of these items. UrbanFurnitureDecor.com. The link's in the description down below. Check them out. You can see the prices right there on the website, and you'll see how much of a discount you're getting because they show you the original price. They show you the price that you pay. They are the best. They have the best prices in town. Check them out if you need furniture. Anything from a furniture standpoint. I think I'm going to get a TV stand from them maybe. Anything from furniture. UrbanFurnitureDecor.com. Link in the web description. 7909 Hillcroft. 7909 Hillcroft for the showroom. Walk in there. Go sit on the beautiful furniture. Feel it out. Okay? You'll love it. You'll love it. All right. And Derek knows. He's a great supporter. And I'm telling you, I do a lot of stuff with Houston football. So this week alone, it's Thursday. I've got nearly 10,000 words under my belt. We'll get to 10,000 by the end of this week. We'll get to 10,000 words on the Houston Texans. If you like to read, Houston football is well worth the money. It is a cup of coffee for a month. You will love it. I will make it worth your money. I promise you that. And if you don't like reading, like famously one time, somebody who won a raffle said, I don't like to read. Okay. Then we got the videos here for you. So those are great. In fact, I'll do this right now. If you want a free day to Houston football, so 24 hours, free 24 hours to Houston football, which will get you today and tomorrow's coverage. If you want a free day, you're thinking about maybe signing up, send me an email, codystoots@gmail.com. Email's in the description, okay? Email's in the description. All right, so I think I've covered all the bases, the housekeeping here at the back. We're going to do so many fun things here with the channel over the course of training camp with Landry Locker over in the locker room. We'll even, get some Seth Payne in the mix. Mike Meltzer might be making an appearance here or there. So we got some fun stuff planned, man. I'm having so much fun. Like I could not sleep last night. I was so excited, and it's not even super high level training camp stuff yet. They're just kind of getting acclimated, but I'm going to bring it to you every detail, every piece throughout the course of training camp and, of course, the course of the season. And I get to do this because of all of you. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your support, the likes, the thumbs up, the super chats, the subscriptions to Houston football, buying the, if you're interested and you want to buy the wall art, we'll put some merch together, get that on the store. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It is so much fun doing this. It is a fun team to cover. It is a fun fan base to interact with. I have a blast. So I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're new here, we end the live streams each and every time the same way. Easy for me to say. Each and every time we end the live streams the same way. This is my hope for you. This is my charge for you as well. I want you to eat good. I want you to sleep good. And I want you to be good. And we'll talk Texans again soon. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic day. Training camp day 2 is on the way tomorrow.